This is the second class in our full crash course on Node.js streams. And yeah, today we're gonna talk about events when it comes to the writable stream, because the writable stream is kind of straightforward. It's just a stream that you write into. So what we really need to do to know is what are the events. We're gonna talk about 3 events today, and then we're gonna talk about the rest later, and I'll explain why. All right, so let's start. The events for the writable stream are close when you've closed the stream that you're writing to, drain, which basically, in order to understand drain, look, you have to remember the example from the last video when I tried writing a billion lines or 100 million lines, and the file just stopped writing, and the JavaScript heap memory just ran out of memory. And drain here just continues writing into the file or into the stream in general when the resources are available again, or when it's just basically when it's appropriate to write again. Error, it just handles errors. Pipe and unpipe really need us to actually understand readable first, so we can get into them, and finish when we finish writing into the stream, not when we close the stream, when we finish writing into the stream. Okay, so that was just really quick. Let's jump into the code. So as usual, we're just gonna go import everything as fs from fs, and we're gonna go like, oh, here's a file, fs.create write stream, and we're gonna give it the path. We're gonna say new or whatever .txt. And we're gonna give it some data, some dummy data. So we're gonna go like dummy data lorem epsum something dark sides, and well, a new line. Cool. All right, so, and the number of times, I'm gonna go with 1. Okay, so we're gonna say like a billion, whatever. So here we're gonna go like write n times to file. That's a mouthful, but whatever. We're gonna give it the n times we're gonna write, which this is going to be a number. The reason why we didn't specifically tell it exactly here the types, because it can infer the types because we gave it default values. And okay, so this is a function, so it should expect certain types of basically inputs. Okay, so the n is a number, its type is number, and data is a string, and the file is a fs.write stream. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna define an index. I'm gonna call it an I, and we're gonna initialize it to n, because we are going to loop or we're gonna go from the nth time to the 0th time, and you're gonna understand why in a second. So we're gonna do while I is greater than 0, and the first thing we're gonna do is just decrease I with 1 index. And we're gonna say if I equals to 0, then we're done. We finished writing into the file, so we're gonna do 2 things. We're gonna go like, oh, file.write, and we're gonna give it the data, and then file.end, because we don't really need this resource or this stream anymore, so just end it. Otherwise, we're gonna go with something important. I said that the write function returns a boolean indicating the success or the failure of the write operation. So we need a boolean that tells us whether we can write, or we should actually wait until something is fixed, or the resources are in a better state, or the heap memory is recovered and we can write. So we're gonna go like okay, and we're gonna initialize it with true. So here's the thing, we're gonna go okay equals file.write data. We're not gonna say file equals okay equals false or equals true. We're just gonna let the writable stream tell us this. Okay, so actually what I need to do here is actually put this in a function, and you're gonna know why in a second. And we are gonna say okay, cool, so everything is should be fine here, except that the condition of the while loop or the condition of this do while needs to also include okay. So if if it was not okay, if it told us to pause, then we're gonna be out of this loop, and we're gonna say if there is was still bigger than zero, our index is bigger than zero or greater than zero, then that means that we have not finished the file. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna say cool. So file.once drain. Okay, so if everything is cool, then we can continue writing. So we're just gonna go like and console log continue writing and we're gonna give it the index. Okay, and we're gonna call the same function again, and this is why I wanted this as a function, because a bunch of things. We don't want to reinitialize this variable, this index, into n again, because we'll never be done here. We'll never be able to finish writing into that file, because every time something happens, it starts from the beginning, and we're giving it a very big number, so we're never really going to be done here. Okay, and it's time to actually try this. We're gonna take this and the write n times to file, and we're gonna pass it the n, we're gonna pass it the data, and we're gonna pass it the file, and we can try now. We're gonna start. As you can see, there are problems, there are hiccups. You might not be able to notice it now, but they're not happening continuously or contiguously. It's not like 10 and 9. It's just, there are a bunch of indices between each time it had to read or fire the event drain. And here's the thing. Again, not every time there was a problem with the heap memory. There are different problems that could happen, but anyway, it will actually write the billion lines, and you can try that. But okay, so in order to make this process a little bit faster, we can just skip the console log. It's still gonna take a real long time, so if it takes longer than I expect, I'm just gonna stop it and you can try it on your own. But while it finishes, we can talk about the next two events. We're going to talk about the close and the finish. So the finish event is basically I finished writing into that stream. I just finished writing. So when we get here, I finished writing. I'm no longer really writing into that file. And close is the stream we were using, and its underlying resources are no longer in use. So they're done, they're closed, they're no longer, we're no longer using them. So as you can see, it's really taking so long. So you can try this. I tried it earlier, it wrote that billion lines. This is just a really dumb example. We're gonna talk about some better examples in the future, but anyway, I'm just gonna stop here and I'm gonna make this example into 1,000, and you're gonna know why now, because now we want the event basically on close, and we're gonna define a function here and say console log closed, and we're gonna define file.on finish, and we're gonna say console log finished. Okay, so which one do you think is executed first? And obviously I gave you a hint earlier. I told you we finish writing first and then we close the resources. So obviously finished will be fired first, and we can see this here. Let's do this. Okay, finished and closed. It took a little bit of time. I'm not sure why, although we gave it only 1,000, but okay, fine. So it finished first and then it closed. So now we should be good. We talked about the drain event, and we talked about the finish event, and we talked about the close event, and there are a lot of use cases. We are gonna need these, and we're going to talk about them when we understand the other types of streams, because now we're still not too deep. We're not too far into streams, so we just have to wait until we know why exactly we need the drain. Obviously now we know why we need the drain event, but why do we need the close event? Why do we need the finish event? It depends on the use case you're trying to do here, but we're going to talk about that in a later video. I hope you got what you wanted from today's or this session. See you in the next one.